fast.
Thoughts on Missouri State? I mean, it made it sound like kind of a spread option team. Maybe some stuff you've seen from your own group.
A lot like our offense.
Yeah.
A lot like our offense. You know, I'm not going to sit here and disrespect anybody because I've seen a lot of crazy things happen, okay? Attribute Sac State versus Oregon State. I'm not knocking Oregon State.
Right.
So we need to be ready to play, and we need to play like it's a faceless opponent and hopefully run away from good and get closer to great, because the enemy of great is good, and we need to get closer to great. So it's all about how we run to the ball, how we play, how we practice, which we practiced well yesterday and today. It's a faceless opponent. It's all about us, and I expect to improve and play better. And to answer your question, their offense is a lot like our offense.
Yeah.
So it's not something we haven't seen, but they have wrinkles just like any other team has.
Elements of your unit that you're particularly pleased with or concerned about through 2 games?
I'm pleased with the young secondary that I think is keeping the ball in front of us. That's been super. We haven't had too many explosion plays. I wish I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Okay, we've kept the ball in front of us. We got 3 picks last week. You know, you give up yards, you give up points. Points are more important to not give up than yards. So obviously I wish we would bring both of those down, but it is what it is right now. We only could have been 1-1 at the end of last Saturday, and we were 1-1. So now our goal is to try to be 2-1.
Front seven's obviously where you lost so many guys with Casey and Spence and Bear and all those guys. How do you feel about your front seven so far?
You know, they've played well. We're just not as deep.
Yeah.
We're just not as deep as we were last year. We're as talented as we were last year. We're just not as deep, and therefore we don't stay as fresh overall. But as far as their effort and the kids and work ethic and ability, I like all that. We just can't have too many guys get injured.
Yeah, Clay obviously has been on crutches. You know, regardless of what his status is going forward, you've had to practice a couple days without him, and he's been described as a glue guy. How do guys operate when he's not in there?
Well, Michael's got a lot of moxie. He's very confident. When you know what you're doing, you know you bark out signals, you tell people what to do. He knows as much as what he's doing, and then he can tell other guys what they're doing too. So there's an element of that we lose. But DeWitt is also a very smart guy, and I think with DeWitt and Kiko in there, we should be okay. It is what it is. You know, I can't comment on the Clay thing other than it's day to day. You see him on crutches. I'll leave it at that. We just need to be strong with our ones and have our twos come along.
And how did you grade Kiko out last week?
I thought he played very well for first game. Kiko will find the football.
Yeah.
Sometimes Kiko will find it no matter where it is,
Yeah.
and disregard where he's supposed to be. But Kiko will find the football, which I like about Kiko. He might zig when he's supposed to zag, but somehow, some way, he's going to get to the ball. So there's a lot of that you like.
Right.
There's a lot of that you like. It's better than the other way around, the guy running away from the football.
Sure.
Can you talk about
Thank you.
Youth
You're
at that,
welcome, Rob.
the youth at linebacker, some of those younger guys and their development? It seems like a good chance.
Well, Derek Malone and Rodney Hardwick need to step up their game. One's a redshirt freshman, one's a true freshman. So they're getting reps this week, and they just, need to improve and get better in our scheme. I mean, there's not much more to say than they just need to get overall more knowledge, feel more comfortable, which will allow them to run to the ball the way we want to run to the ball.
Okay. Any chance seeing Kudu and slipping the inside a little bit, I think? I mean,
Always a chance.
Yeah. Okay.
Always a chance, depending on what's happening.
Okay.
You talked a little about the secondary earlier. Can you talk specifically about Anthony Gilden and the progress you've seen from him over kind of his 4-year career?
I think Anthony's playing with a lot more confidence now. This is the most confidence I've ever seen him play with, which is awesome. He played tremendous in the LSU game. I think he broke up 3 passes. I don't remember, but he played tremendous in the LSU game, and he was very steady this last week. So with confidence, a guy can play better because they not only know what they're doing, they feel good about what they're doing, they feel good about their speed, especially if you're a corner. At corner, you have to have two things: a lot of confidence and a short-term memory. So I think Anthony's getting both of those.
Kiko hadn't played a game in over a year and a half, almost 2 years. How do you think he did kind of catching up to game speed being thrown into a real game?
I'm sure initially he was a little bit slower than he would want to be, but he was awesome in the spring, you know, and then he took a hiatus. But I think, you know, he got his feet wet last week, and I think he'll be much better this week.
You talked about the lack of depth, but a lot of guys did get a play last week. How important is that?
It's always important for guys to get game experience, especially young guys. So that's a great thing, especially when you practice, you deserve to play. And when you get a guy into play, and it's not an intramural program, but when you get ahead like that and you can play more guys, that's a great reward for them. But with that comes another thing, they got to play better. So if you get a chance to play, you better play better.
How important is all the game film